Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to do a reaction video to Superman and Lois, which premiered yesterday on CW at 8 p.m. Season 1, Episode 1. New episodes of Superman and Lois will premiere every Tuesday at 8 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Double check below with the link, because if you have cable or not, and if you're at work during that time, the CW app as well as the CW website uploads the video the next day between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. Eastern time. So let's get with these characters. Well, first of all, before I start with the characters, I want to say that I love how in the beginning they give us the background of Superman and Lois, just in case we are not familiar with Superman, his story, and the way Superman and Lois come together. Cool. They cover all of that in the beginning in a clip before the show starts. And I even love that they give us the background of their kids, because they have two twin boys, Jonathan and Jordan. Okay, cool. So let's start with the two mains. Title of the show, Superman and Lois. So, like I said, I love how they have that bond in the show where it's like, I don't move unless you move type of thing. They have that communication going, like a lot of positive energy vibes as far as, relationship stuff. The boys do not know that their father is Superman. They just think he's Clark Kent. That's how they know their dad. Nothing else. He has two jobs, so that's all that they know. He's a journalist, and they didn't say what his second job was on the side, I don't think. But he did mention he had a second job. So that's his cover story when he's not around and stuff's going on, and he's flying around being Superman in the city, around the world, wherever. He has social anxiety, which a lot of teens have. So he's very relatable. Cool. So his reasoning on not telling the boys, which mind you, of course, his parents know that he's Superman. Clark Kent's parents know. So does Lois's parents, her father, and so does Lois. They all know. The boys are the only ones who are out of the secret when it starts. And they do some digging in the barn, and they find out shit is real. They found a spaceship with some rocks in there. Lois and Superman come home. Jonathan's livid. He's like, yo, you've been lying to us our whole lives, which he is entitled to be angry with his father. Both of them are, for him to conceal the truth from them, which, all of us would be a little upset that you didn't tell us. And he's just like, and Jordan's more so like, am I weird because you're not human? Because if you're not human, I'm not fully human either. So he's kind of blaming his dad for all of that. Jonathan, he's upset, but he's not really posting any blame. But I feel as though because he mentioned it, he's just like, dang, well, am I an excellent athlete because I'm just great like that? Or am I an excellent athlete because I have superpowers? Etc. So they go to the bonfire. He's feeling this girl that he's known from before. He puts the first move on him. Jordan does, because I have to classify which one it is. Jordan does, which I thought was great. I was like, ooh, he kissed a girl. Oh, like he was my brother. Like, I was like, oh, he kissed a girl. Like, wow. Because like I said, he's not on the confident side. So that was something different for him. Boom. Turns out she has a boyfriend. Boyfriend punches Jordan. Jonathan comes and helps him, which I didn't even know he was there, which maybe I missed when he got out the car, but whatever. So he didn't know. So, he comes over, saves him real quick. Like I said, fight like he has to fight, like no hesitation. Once he got hit, he turned and saw who it was, ran over there, and started fighting with the dude that attacked his brother, which, that's what siblings do. I can mess with you, but can't nobody else mess with you. That's how I am. Cool. So the other dude is overpowering his brother, Jonathan. So Jordan's still on the ground from when he got hit. And he's hesitant. Fight or flight, not their response. But naturally, he sees his brother struggling and he wants to help him, but he doesn't get up. And Boom, lasers beam out his eyes, hit the bonfire that's in the middle. Whole like explosion thing kind of happens. Everyone's okay, but everyone's like, oh shit, what the fuck? So, you know, Jordan tells him that when the pipes fell, yes, his brother covered him, but then something took over and he covered his brother. And that's how they walked away with minor injuries. But I still think that his brother does have some type of powers, because those were a lot of pipes and he probably still got hit in the head. So I do think he has powers. Will he start displaying those powers? I do not know, because if we want to look at it as far as Jonathan and Jordan, when we want to look at it, when we think of a superhero's powers manifesting, if they, of course, they show signs before they turn, before they hit puberty age, but usually when they hit puberty age, it's like this, like the manifestation of your powers. That's when they start settling in and they start displaying. So, honestly, when I was talking to one of my friends, I know they were saying that they think that Jordan is going to embrace their powers while Jonathan's going to suppress his powers. I honestly think that when it comes to Jordan and Jonathan, let's go with the first, what they've shown us so far. Jonathan doesn't have powers, Jordan does. I think that Jordan is going to try to suppress his powers because, one, his emotions are all over the place, so it's going to be hard for him to control it. And then I feel like because he's not as confident and he's not so sure of himself, he's very hesitant. I think that he's gonna push away his powers for a little bit. I don't know for how long, but he's going to be very hesitant and scared to use his powers. At least that's what I think. And as far as Jonathan, if we go to the first, what we've seen, Jonathan doesn't have any powers. I think the fact that Jonathan doesn't have any powers is going to bother him eventually. Now he's cool with his brother having powers, but I feel like the brother's gonna get the attention that he used to get, maybe because he has powers. As far as his dad spending a lot of time with Jordan versus Jonathan, to help him develop his powers, get control of them, etc. I think that Jonathan's going to try to force himself to use powers because the fact that his brother has them, his dad has them, but he doesn't have them. Even though he is a good athlete, etc. But, like I said, powers usually, when powers start manifesting in a superhero, usually we see there are triggers. They're usually triggers. Usually it's something happening to their family member, and then fear or anger are the two emotions that let it out. Even when they're sad, but I really don't see Jonathan being really sad in this series. Not like the sad character or crying and stuff. So, and then as far as the fear, we've seen him in situations this far, the two situations where he was fearful after, but when they happened, he reacted without fear. So it's okay, where his brother reacted with fear, and that's when his powers displayed. He was scared. So, and then his powers, natural instincts just took over, where Jordan already has that natural instinct. He doesn't have to sit there and think about it. And he reacts without thinking, where Jordan, I think the thought process and then him being scared, and then he thinks about it hard enough, he reacts, powers display. Where Jonathan's opposite. So that's my theory to what my friend said. I'm just I just feel as though it'll take longer for Jonathan. Also, okay, let's say Jonathan has powers and Jordan doesn't. It'll take longer, like I said, for Jonathan's powers to manifest, because when it comes to them, they're polar opposites. When it comes to fight or flight, I don't know. I think that Jonathan, if he displays powers and he has them, they're going to come out at points where we least expect it. It's going to be oh shit, I can do that. I didn't know that. shit, I have powers now. Like, whoa. And it's like, well, do it again. And it's like, I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. He has to find his trigger point to actually do it. I think if he does have the powers, he's going to save his brother, etc. at the right moment, right time. But he probably will not be able to do it again. I feel like the brother will be able, even though the powers just are happening, I feel like he will be quick to be able to control his powers, turn them on and off, especially when he gets his emotions in check, which Jonathan has his emotions in check. Jordan doesn't have his emotions in check. So that's why it's easier for him to display his powers. You know, but until Jordan just is comfortable with being himself, that's when he's going to flourish. I think Jordan's going to be the most powerful out of the whole family, his father, etc. Like, he's going to be the game changer. Like, that's just how it's going to be. I'm putting stamp on it that that's going to be how it is, because I see it. I see it being like, if you guys watch Black Lightning, Anissa and Jen thing, how Jen was so suppressive, I'm a freak, which Jordan's already said, he feels like he's weird, etc. He feels like he's a freak already without knowing, but before knowing he had powers. And that was like, dang, well, I am a freak type of thing. So I feel like that's why he's going to suppress his powers. That's my theory of him suppressing his powers. But until he's comfortable with being Jordan Kent, that is when he will start to flourish and be the most powerful, and he's going to impress the shit out of his dad. Like, whoa, he's probably gonna have powers that Superman doesn't have. Like, shit, I can't even do that. Like, that's crazy, that's wild, Or another theory is maybe they'll split his powers. Maybe because they are twins, so maybe one can do some of his stuff, and then the other can do, the other part. Or, like I said, one can do everything Superman could do, and then the other can do Superman stuff, Jordan, which I think is going to be able to do Superman stuff plus extra stuff. But I would definitely like to see if they do it like that. I would definitely like to see Jonathan maybe not having all the powers of Superman, but having a different power, and then Jordan having the powers of Superman plus extra stuff. Like, that'd be dope, but it's still not the same as his brother. I would definitely love that to balance out, crime fighting, which I hope that they do. I love seeing families together doing crime fighting. Like, that's like, ooh, that's why I love Black Lightning too. We're talking about Superman though, and Superman and Lex Luthor. So it's another, we see Lex comes in at the end. So we don't even get to see his face. We just see the back of his bald head. I forget that actor, but I'm gonna put his name here. But yeah, probably here. I'll put his name here. But I can't remember his name, but I think that's him. If you watch Black Lightning, the dude that plays that super meta, I think it's gonna be him. I forget his name, but he's a really dope actor, which I should know his name. It's a black guy. Lex Luthor's black in this. I kind of like that. Thought that was cool because I really thought it was a firefighter dude, but I was like, that's too obvious. But yes, he's black. I think it's him because I feel like I know I know that bald head. Like, I feel like I know that bald head. So I'll put his name here. But he played, if you guys do watch CW, that's your thing like me. I watch Black Lightning, Supernatural, Riverdale, Nancy Drew. I watched Supernatural. That's over now. I think that's him. I think he's in there. I hope he is. I hope that's him. I think that's him. Hopefully we find out, hopefully we get to see Lex Luthor's face next episode. They might, delay it for a little bit, keep us guessing, but I hope that they show. And so Superman and Lex Luthor, he comes in at the end fighting Superman. Like, he's causing problems for Superman beforehand. They fighting. He tries to kill him, putting kryptonite in his chest. That was crazy. I was like, dang, he finna get hurt already. It's only the first episode. But then that's when the bonfire thing happened, and Lois has this little box. She flips in the frequency, and he can key into it. It's a high frequency. He can key into it, and figure out what's going on wherever that box is, because her dad has one too. Her dad's a general, and he does that whenever he needs them, and he comes. So last minute, he was this close to the ground before he opened his eyes, because he was free falling down. And he took it out of his chest, flew to the boys, like, without hesitation. Probably a adrenaline thing, because I know that thing hurt, because he was free falling from the outside of the Earth's atmosphere all the way to this close to the ground in a completely different city. So you know, cool. And Lex, after he's doing that, he thinks he killed Superman. He didn't double check, which I don't get. You should always double check that your enemy's dead. Always. They never do, but always go check the pulse, make sure they dead. So you know what I'm saying? Cool. So he's going back to his like frost lair, out looking like the North Pole and shit, probably Antarctica, for real. So he like goes there, and the computer's like, so that was our last kryptonite, so what are we gonna do? And he's basically like, you know, don't worry about it. So let's go back to Superman and Lois. So apparently the grandma passes away. So that's how they end up back in Smallville. And then all that stuff happens to the boys. So apparently there's this company that bought the bank. And the bank has been buying or giving out loans to people that they can't pay back, etc. And then they've been buying land from folks in Smallville. No one knows who, why, etc. So when the grandma died, they had a clause in it or something that said that if they don't pay, they'll buy it off them, cash, and you know, the rest of the balance or whatever, they'll give it to them cash, or they have to pay it for the farm. So, you know, and they're trying to figure out, well, who is this mystery company that bought the bank and is trying to get the farm from us? Because they're trying to they're thinking about opening the farm back up and living in Smallville instead of Metropolis. So cool. So I think it's Lex. I think he needs more kryptonite, and I just feel like a company mysteriously buying land, and then he has all this high-tech stuff in the middle of nowhere by himself. It's probably his tech company or whatever he owns, or he has it masked under something else. He has a cover, you know, because we don't know who owns this company. We only know the company name. That's it. We really don't know any information. The bank lady didn't even know nothing about it. No one knew nothing. It's on the hush hush. And but you know, them being journalists, they figured it out. Research. I feel like Lex is behind that, and I feel like Lex really wants Clark Kent's house, because he knows a lot about him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he knew his identity too, because he already knew you landed in Smallville, blah, blah. Like, he knew a lot about him. Like, he did his research, and I feel like he already knows who he is in real life. And if he doesn't know, he is close enough to know, because he knows the city location. Okay? He knows where he's from. So I think Lex is buying up everything, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start digging up the ground and they find kryptonite down there. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, maybe like a long time ago, like someone hid kryptonite there, and it wasn't, because I'm not big into Superman, so I don't know. If this is true, then tell me it is. I would like to know. So I'm just like, okay, so maybe somehow kryptonite was put on Earth way back before Clark Kent even existed. And maybe Superman going to, he always says, he was sent here for a purpose. So maybe him landing in Smallville wasn't a coincidence. Like, there's kryptonite there. So the rocket that he was in, the spaceship he was in naturally brought him there, because something under the ground drew him there to that specific spot in that specific city, in that, in that Pacific County. Like, I really believe that. And I won't be surprised if that is how he ended up there. So definitely let me know what you think about the show. If you haven't watched it, watch it, because it's really good and I like it. And if you want to see more reaction videos on shows on the CW or suggest me any shows that are about to start. I watch Riverdale, Black Lightning, All American, Nancy Drew. They all kind of just started, so I can start making reaction videos for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this, you know, give me some feedback on what you think, your theories, if you believe in the theories that I do. Because this show just started, so the sky's the limit at this point as far as theories. We will see. I will have another video next week. It'll be on the next day. I'm gonna record it and upload it the next day. So tune in every Tuesday, CW, 8 p.m. Eastern time, or CW app between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. Wednesday morning is when it'll drop on the CW app. So, bye guys.